I remember walking into our new home the morning after the wedding. The flowers still fresh, the scent in the air. I turned to her side of the bed. Empty. I called her name. I heard nothing. Confusion turned to fear. My phone lit up. Text from friends. Where's she? Is everything okay? But I had no answer. I checked the guest room, the hotel's security cams, her phone. Nothing. She had vanished. And then, a whisper reached me. Your brother left with her. He booked a private jet. My heart shattered. My brother, the one I trusted all my life, had taken her and our honeymoon from me. I sank into disbelief. Why would he do this? What had I done wrong? Was this a cruel joke or something deeper? My world crumbled, and in that chaos, a spark ignited. I would not let this go. I would search, fight, and uncover the truth, no matter how dark. The first step was gathering clues. I retraced the previous night's moments, who saw her last, who she spoke to, what messages she sent. I asked the hotel staff, checked security footage, questioned mutual friends. Everyone was stunned. No one expected a brother to betray like this. But small inconsistencies began to whisper. Why did her phone battery die? Why did her car remain parked outside? Why did the boarding pass appear under someone else's name? I started mapping timelines. When she left, when my brother's flight was scheduled, what routes existed. I endured dead ends. I faced deception. But with each question I asked, something started shaking loose. As I dug deeper, I discovered hidden alliances. My brother had friends in travel agencies, private jet contacts. Someone had helped him cover tracks. Someone erased evidence. Someone undermined me behind the scenes. And my wife. I learned she had been pressured, threatened, manipulated. She wasn't just missing. She was trapped by secrets I never knew. Her silence wasn't betrayal. It was survival. I had to confront powerful forces. People protecting my brother. Fear in her eyes. Lies that masqueraded as truth. That's when the stakes soared. This wasn't just betrayal by family. It was a dangerous game where love, loyalty, power, and deception collided. At this point, I had a choice. Stay broken or fight forward. I chose to fight forward. I hired investigators. I traced jet manifests. I tracked phone pings, GPS logs. I followed money trails. I mobilized everyone who cared for her and me. I confronted my brother's associates. I demanded evidence. I refused threats. I leaned on legal counsel. I stayed awake nights, haunted by pain, but fueled by purpose. I became relentless. Then came the turning point. I located a remote airstrip where the jet landed. I found records connecting my brother's alias to that flight. I found a message she left, hidden in plain sight, pointing me to a small island getaway where they landed. I flew there. I confronted him. Hearts pounded. Truths spilled. She stood there, shaken but alive. She hadn't left me by choice. She was pushed, convinced that I would never find her. Shock flooded through everyone present when she revealed the full story. My brother's motives, money, power, jealousy, were laid bare. What I thought was love betrayed was actually a lesson in how fragile trust is. After recovering her, I faced the fallout. The brother I loved became enemy. The family I thought secure crumbled. But I also rediscovered her strength. She and I spoke, healed, rebuilt. I demanded accountability, not vengeance, but justice. He lost more than the honeymoon. He lost respect, trust, family ties. I pressed charges, pursued legal paths. I reclaimed what was stolen. Her, our trust, our future. Along the way, I learned that love isn't just a promise. It's a battleground. That betrayal can hide in the closest hearts. That faith can be shattered, but also reborn stronger. That when life rips apart your world, you don't rebuild by avoiding pain, but by facing it, demanding truth, refusing illusions. Now, as we rebuild step by step, I share this with you because maybe you feel betrayed. Maybe someone you trusted disappeared from your life, or changed roles when you weren't watching. I tell you, don't accept disappearance as the final act. Ask questions. Seek truth. Let every clue, every silence, every lie be a map leading you to answers. Confront fear with courage. Seek justice with integrity. Rebuild with love that's stronger than pain. The aftermath of betrayal lingers longer than the event itself. Even after confronting my brother and rescuing my wife, I carried scars. Every conversation felt heavier. Every silence felt suspicious. I had to relearn how to trust, not just her but myself. Because betrayal plants doubt in your own judgment. Why didn't I see it coming? How could I have missed the signs? Healing meant forgiving myself first. Understanding that trust is not blindness, it's choosing to see the good until someone proves otherwise. And just because one person, even my own brother, misused that trust, doesn't mean the world is filled with traitors. I had to train my mind to separate the guilty from the innocent, to not let his actions poison the way I viewed everyone else. With time, I found strength in sharing my story. At first, I was ashamed. Who wants to admit that their wife disappeared the day after their wedding? Who wants to say that their brother stole their honeymoon on a jet? It sounds like a twisted soap opera. But when I opened up, I found others had similar scars. Not the exact same story, but the same pain of betrayal, of being blindsided by family or friends. And in that, I realized something. Stories heal. Not just for the teller, but for the listener. When we share our wounds, we remind each other we're not alone. My story became less about shame and more about survival. Less about weakness and more about resilience. And slowly, people didn't look at me as a victim anymore. They saw me as proof that even the deepest cuts can close. And here's where I stand now. Not broken, not bitter, but wiser. The wedding may have ended in chaos. The honeymoon may have been stolen. But the marriage is alive. Stronger than before. Because we went through fire and fire purifies. My wife and I rebuilt from zero, with honesty sharper than ever. My brother, he remains a shadow, a cautionary tale. But me? I live with the truth that life will test you, sometimes in ways you could never imagine. And when it does, you have two choices, collapse or climb. I chose to climb. And so can you. If betrayal has touched your life, remember this. It may feel like the end of your story, but it can be the beginning of your rise. Looking back, I see the irony. What should have been the happiest trip of my life turned into the most painful test. The day after my wedding, I lost my wife, I lost my brother, and I nearly lost myself. But in that loss, I uncovered truths I never would have seen otherwise. I discovered resilience I didn't know I had. I discovered a love that doesn't crumble under pressure, but rebuilds stronger. And I discovered that betrayal, while brutal, can be the doorway to transformation. Today, when I see couples boarding planes for their honeymoons, I don't envy them. I smile because I know what it means to fight for love, to reclaim it when the world tries to take it away. And that's my message to you. When your life takes a turn you never expected, don't let the pain define you. Let it refine you. Don't let betrayal end your story. Let it begin the chapter where you rise higher than anyone thought possible.